Hello everyone, welcome to PRATHAM Test Prep. My name is Ashish Bhargav, and here we have with another episode of daily news analysis that we do from Monday to Friday. So dear friend, why newspaper is important? Because it tells you about the information what is happening around us, and most of the newspaper articles जो है that is very important for your exam perspective, क्योंकि वहाँ पे आपके एग्ज़ाम में जो क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं उनका जो सोर्स होता है वो द हिंदू, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, इकोनॉमिक्स टाइम्स, दैट द वेरियस न्यूज़पेपर. सो मेजरली इन दिस न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस वी डिस्कस अबाउट द हिंदू एंड इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, राइट? चलो जी. सो बिफोर वी स्टार्ट, लेट मी नो इफ माई वॉइस इज ऑडिबल. am I visible to each and everyone? am I audible, visible to each and everyone? एंड कैसे हैं आप सब? आई होप you guys are doing well. आप सारे अच्छे होंगे. Anyway, so newspaper is very important, as I told you कि the importance of the newspaper. Now the question is कि हमें newspaper में क्या क्या चीज़ें cover करनी होती है. So basically in newspaper analysis we discuss about national news, we discuss about international news, economy based news, sports based news, science and tech, personal news, summits and conference, and miscellaneous. And we'll discuss about questions of the day. Means that there would be 5 questions, and that would be important because these questions I extract from the directly from the newspaper, right? So it is taken from directly from the newspaper, so it shows that आप उस क्वेश्चन को अगर सॉल्व करेंगे तो आपकी एक अच्छी कमांड हो जाएगी न्यूज़पेपर के साथ साथ आपके क्वेश्चंस के ऊपर. एंड क्विक टिप्स. The very first article here we talk about is only 13.6% women are central to poll promise in 2024, but fewer were elected. अक्षी चावला जी हैं यहाँ पे, नया आर्टिकल को लिखा हुआ है. तो अक्षी चावला जी यहाँ पे ये CED अशोका यूनिवर्सिटी में वर्क करती हैं, राइटर हैं. 2024 Lok Sabha election mark an important point of departure in modern India's political history. While there is much to analyze and celebrate, on one front we have taken a step backward. 18th Lok Sabha will have 74 women. 18th Lok Sabha have 74 women, along with 469 men. While this cohort certainly includes powerful, gritty and diligent representatives, and they comprise only 13.6% of all MPs. So dear friend, this is important to understand the data कि not only this share that is lower than the share of women elected in 2019 में जो women का ratio था that was 14.4%, and this year that we have only 74 women. So if we consider the context in which the 2024 election took place, women's representation should have recorded a notable improvement. After all, this was the first parliamentary election after India passed the historic women reservation bill जो कुछ टाइम पहले गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया था. दैट सिक्स द रिजर्व 1/3 जो वुमेन रिजर्वेशन बिल है उसमें क्या मेंशन है, 1/3 ऑफ द सीट्स दैट रिजर्व फॉर द वुमेन इन द लोकसभा एंड स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज. कमेंट सेक्शन में कोई बताएं कि पंचायत इलेक्शन में क्या हम रिजर्व करते हैं 73rd एंड 74th अमेंडमेंट एक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग. सो मीन्स दैट बाकी कंट्री में कि मैंने आपको रेशियोज़ बताए थे, हमारा जो रेशियो है वो बाकी यूरोपियन कंट्री लाइक US, UK से कितना परसेंट कम है. सो ऑल्दो पार्लियामेंट कंटिन्यूज टू बी डोमिनेटेड बाय मेन इन मोस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, इंडिया लैक्स फर्दर बिहाइंड मोस्ट ऑफ इट्स स्पीड. फॉर इंस्टेंस 2023-2020 में 52 कंट्रीज अराउंड द वर्ल्ड हेल्ड पार्लियामेंट्री इलेक्शन और एवरेज 27.6% वुमेन वर इलेक्टेड. तो अगर आप ओवरऑल वर्ल्ड से कभी कंपेयर करें 27.6% women were elected. Data from the Inter-Parliamentary Union shows in fact globally women comprise 26.9% of MP currently. So all women remain limited to voters and beneficiaries in its imagination, not so much leaders and representatives deserving equal participation. So only 9.6% of all candidates in these elections and 11% of candidates contesting on a party ticket were women. And according to data that compiled by the Association of Democratic Reforms ADR, this is barely up to 2019, where the share of women among candidates were 9%. This to add insult to injury, several women who contested the polls faced misogynistic jibes from their peers. बात करें on day before result in India, another historic elections result unfolded in a different corner of the world. In Mexico, where general elections were held to representations to various political offices, Claudia Sheinbaum were elected by a comfortably majority to the top political office. This is the first time a woman had been elected to as a country's president. But the shattering of the glass ceiling is not an aberration, only the logical next step in Mexico's journey that to make politics more representative. So over the past few decades, propelled by grassroots feminist movement, the country has introduced and implemented a set of legislative reforms that to ensure not just increased representation of women, but rather gender parity in its politics. And the law, in our country requires parity in all spheres of government and mandates that parties put forth candidate list with gender parity across election. This is not to say Mexico is without its share of problems, political and gender-based violence that remains a serious concern. But it shows that progress is possible through deliberate and thoughtful reform despite entrenched gender norms. Many other countries that have taken steps to make their politics more representative and gender sensitive. India has led the front of expanding women political participation at local levels. It is high time that we show a similar commitment in addressing the gaps at the state and national levels. And this will require reforms from the top, but the ultimate onus of ensuring progress that will lie on the shoulders of our political parties. So this is why it is important for the participation. And the very one more factor that since independence till now we do not have any women Chief Justice of India. So for the women emancipation, government have to take these kind of steps, and for the all spheres, not in the politics, in the court, in the legislature, in the executions, there should be a woman for the betterment of our country. So this article talks about lots of facts, and I hope that you got to know about the article. Now we move to the next article. Here we talk about the science के बेस पे टॉपिक है. This is hydrogen line, a unique signal. Hydrogen line क्या होता है? एक important instrument होता है in a modern astronomy, from studying distant stars to looking for extraterrestrial intelligence. जितने भी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स हैं, so each hydrogen atom is made of one proton and one electron. One proton and one electron. So both these particles have a property called spin, and colloquially we can say that spin can point out the down at the given time when the spins of both particles are pointing up. So the spins are anti-aligned. जो atom होते हैं will have more energy than if they are aligned. So the atom will shed their excess energy when the electron flips its spin, that emitting electromagnetic radiation of wavelength 21 centimeter. Scientists discovered this emission in 1951, and it transformed radio astronomy. By looking for the emission, they could detect cloud or cold neutral hydrogen atomic gas in interstellar space. Soon after, they were able to create a map of the Milky Way galaxy for the first time and discover its spiral arms. Today, astronomers are also using the 21 centimeter as a probe to spot the first light emitted by the universe's earliest galaxies. Because the emission does not require complicated technology to spot, astronomers also think it can be used to send information across space that someday an alien civilization might detect. Next one, हमारे country में भी recent controversy is Agnipath scheme and why it was introduced, the opposition to it. The scheme for military recruitment has faced opposition from political parties and armed forces, veterans alike, since it was introduced by the BJP-led government in 2022. ये जो अग्निपथ स्कीम है, अग्निपथ This scheme was launched in the year of 2022. And during the recent Lok Sabha election, it became a key campaign issue in states such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, UP and Bihar and Rajasthan, where the armed force remain a sought after employer. ये अग्निपथ स्कीम है क्या? इसमें रिक्रूटिंग पर्सन दैट बिलो ऑफिशियल रैंक, सोल्जर्स, एमिनेंस, sailors who are not commissioned officers to the Indian Armed Forces for a period of 4 years. So at the end of this tenure, up to 25% of these results to that so-called Agniveers that can join the service on a permanent commissions another 15 years के लिए, subject to merit and organized recruitment. और जो aspirants हैं between the age of 17.5 years and 23 years up from 21 year initially are eligible to apply. So in the army, 2 batches of 40,000 Agniveers have completed training and are under posting. How are Agniveers different from soldiers with permanent commissions? Agniveer draw a basic salary of 30,000 to 40,000 per month and entitled to other risk and hardship allowance. So they contribute 30% of their monthly emoluments to the Seva Nidhi fund, which the government matches. At the end of their service, they receive approximately 11.71 lakh with interest or a tax exempt lump sum severance package from this fund. So if they die on duty, Agniveer's families receives a lump sum of Rs 1 crore, including the Seva Nidhi package and full pay of period where the soldiers could not serve. In case of disability, Agniveer gave up to 44 lakh as a compensation. Unlike soldiers in regular service, Agniveer do not draw a pension post-retirement. Why was the Agnipath introduced किया गया? Because apart from unsaid intentions of reducing the armed force wages and pension bill, सरकार का ये कहना था जो स्कीम विल इंश्योर द फोर्सेस यूथफुल प्रोफाइल. डिफेंस मिनिस्टर जो राजनाथ सिंह हैं, उन्होंने जनवरी 2023 में क्या बात कही थी कि अग्निपथ इज़ अ गेम चेंजर फॉर द आर्म्ड फोर्स एंड मेक द यंग यूथफुल हाई टेक अल्ट्रा मॉडर्न. So when the scheme was brought in, the average age of armed forces was 32 years, which Agnipath will bring down 26 years according to Defense Ministry calculation. The government also said that after the completion of their service, Agniveer will contribute to the civil society throughout their education, skill, discipline and other qualities. Let's move to the next one. It's time to proportional representation. Similar article that we discussed. Now, the Baltimore ship accident, the high stake for India. Majorly इस आर्टिकल में क्या मेंशन की गई है? ये जो इससे yeah, just a second. So basically, this article here we talk on March 26, 2024. When container ship Dali crashed into Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, United States. So ये जो crash हुआ, that was a spectacular tragedy that captured on a video clip. उसके ऊपर में क्या article mention की है? Why the country is an industry player. So इसके लिए थोड़ी historical background को समझें यहाँ पे. So unlike the past, India has emerged as a key players in global shipping in its seafarers, many of the ocean going ships bringing in vital foreign exchange as remittance. India's seafarer remittance are typically equivalent to some 15% of all foreign direct investment that comes into the country every year. Insurance experts have said that the Dali accident will equal to surpass the highest ever marine insurance that paid out $1.5 billion in the case of Costa Cornica cruise vessels that was capsizing in 2012. So the accident that could damage India's reputation in the world shipping industry of being a reliable source of competent seafarers. Here is a folk dance of different states that is very important. और ये जैसे आप देख सकते हैं भांगड़ा, गिद्दा, उसके बाद गुजरात से गरबा और रास, चार जटिन मध्य प्रदेश से मत की आदा सिलांकड़ी एंड सेलन भूषी। उसके बाद यहाँ पे लेवानी, नताका, कोली, लेजिम और गाफा। उसके नेक्स्ट वन कर्नाटका में दोलू, कुनिथा और यक्षगम, उत्तर सुगी कुनिथा। केरला से पदायनी, तमिलनाडु द डांस फॉर्म भारतनाट्यम, कुम्मी, कोलाट्टम और कवादी। कुचिपुड़ी, विलासनी नाट्यम, आंध्र नाट्यम इज फ्रॉम आंध्र प्रदेश। एंड पंदावनी, पांथी, राउत नाचा, विद्यामती, कपालकी इज फ्रॉम द छत्तीसगढ़। एंड देन यहाँ से झोड़ा, झली, छड़ी, करायला, नमेगम ये आपका है मध्य हिमाचल प्रदेश से। देन बिहार से जाट, जटिन, जुमारी, सिक्किम। उसके बाद उत्तराखंड से आपके हैं लांगवीर। सो दीज आर द डांस फॉर्म विच यू नीड टू कीप एन आई ऑन दैट। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल, द बेयरली केस इन फ्लॉड क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम। A few weeks ago, the case of women who had filed a rape case was sentenced to imprisonment and fined by a court in Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh, dominated the headlines. The narrative echoed by select media users that painted a picture of women who had brazenly fabricated rape, accusing this, of course, perpetuated the damaging stereotype that false claims by women are norms. But the deeper dive into the trial proceedings reveals a range of systematic shortcomings in our law enforcement machinery and social implement. So, यहाँ पे 2019 में एक और केस था, यहाँ पे नाम चेंज हुआ है बिकॉज मदर फाइल अ मिसिंग पर्सनस कंप्लेन स्टार्टिंग दैट हर 15 years old daughter was missing and that she suspected Ramesh, the name change, of having kidnapped her. But Pooja appeared a few days later saying that she had been taken to Delhi by Ramesh and raped by both him and the several other men. While the knowledge of his mother and sisters, she claimed that she ran away from Delhi to her home और इसका कोई proof नहीं है of her age was available for the existence medical examination. So the case one of the wrongful and protected impeachment spotlight the need for improved police investigation protocols and prosecutorial autonomy and judicial supervision. So multiple stakeholders overlooked what has been a notably weak case along the way. And इसमें section आपका 173 section 173 clause 8 of the CRPC allows a magistrate to direct further investigation case of flawed investigation. फिर भी इस केस में the magistrate committed the case for trial despite the glaring gaps in the investigation, and the magistrate could call the case diary under section 17 of CRPC which may have revealed discrepancies or inadequacies in the investigation and that focused on under trial detention. Arbitrary and prolonged under trial detention is unfortunately pervasive within India criminal justice system in the case where the individuals had to undergo over 4 years of and clear the judge nothing that were issues in the investigation. And here is the quick tips, important facts of 12th 5-year plan. Here we can see with the help of mnemonics we can learn. German bank has 11 weapons of mass destruction, green cover, banking reforms, higher education, electricity to all villages, work opportunity, malnutrition and drinking water. The few students think about how to make notes. You can see it here how this is my self notes. Indian important articles of constitution. Article 15 talking about discrimination, 17th talking about untouchability, 19th freedom of speech and expression, 184 about Supreme Court, 214 about High Court, and Article 360 about procedure of Constitution amendment. Here Article 51 talking about fundamental duties, Article 343 to 341 about Hindi language, and Article 24 about children below 14 years cannot work in a hazardous industry. And these one are related to emergency, 352 about national emergency, Article 356 about state emergency, and Article 360 about financial emergency. Now it's time to questions of the day. And questions, the very first question is special category status is granted by the President of India. State with special category status receives preferential treatment in federal assistance and tax breaks. The criteria for granting SCS: terrain, low population density and non-viable nature of state finance. You have to find it out which statement are correct. So only two statements are correct here. As we can see, a special category status is a classification granted by the central to assist in the development of state facing geographical and socio-economic disadvantage. It was introduced in 1969. The Environmental Performance Index that was published which of the following organization, or right answer is missing, none of the above. This one is the right answer, because Yale Center for Environment Law and Policy that recently published the EPI 2024 that ranking 180 countries on climate change performance, environmental health and ecosystem vitality using 58 indicators across 11 categories. In the context of modern India, Jugantar and Bharat Mata Association, और ये एक revolutionary group है. C is the right answer. Servants of India Society, it was the first nationalist organization to establish and operated from outside India. The society was only concerned with promotion of Swadeshi and achievement of political Swaraj. It published Hitvada in all the major regional language of India. And basically this answer is correct one. First one is incorrect. So the Servants of India Society was formed in Pune, Maharashtra in 1905 by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and society organized many campaigns to promote education, sanitation, healthcare and fight to social evils of untouchability and discrimination, alcoholism, poverty, oppression of women and domestic abuse. The publication of the Hitvada, the organ of society in English, from Nagpur, that commenced in 1911. Here is a political organization and the right answer is A is the right answer. So dear friend, this is all about the session and I hope that you enjoyed the session a lot. If you have any questions regarding this, please let us know in the comment section. We'll meet you in the next YouTube analysis. Till then, bye bye and take care.